Utopians. By now, I'm sure everyone who's even just a novice NFL enthusiast knows the news right now with Joe Burrow's being injured, uh, courtesy of his calf muscle, and the pending gloom right now in the training camp due to this devastating injury. With that being said, my mind immediately goes to who's the backup, and that would be Trevor Siemian, the same Trevor Siemian who's been in the league since 2015, the same Trevor Siemian who's was a Pro Bowl alternate in 2017, the same Trevor Siemian who sports a 42 touchdown to 28 interception ratio, the same Trevor Siemian who's thrown for north of 7,000 yards now in the league. Okay, so if anyone can handle the duty as the lead signal caller, step right in. Even though I hear the camp has been a little shaky, but training camp is not the end all be all barometer for what a player can and cannot do. Okay, so secondly, you know who's their running back, a perennial Pro Bowler in Joe Mixon. Now, obviously, he's lost a little bit of a step, a little long in the tooth, but he's still a dual threat. And on any given Sunday, he can snap for either 100 yards rushing or 100 yards catching, or both simultaneously. And so you can't count out Joe Mixon in the heart of a champion, even if he hasn't accumulated any rings yet. Furthermore, with the pending legal battle, naturally it's easy to just go inward and focus on the reason why you are where you are in life, and that's his craft, playing football. So I expect to see a heavy dose of him, and I think he's willing to step up to the challenge, especially after taking a dramatic pay cut this offseason. Thirdly, I go to schedule, and schedule has a lot to do with everything. And the first team on the calendar for first week is the Battle of Ohio against the Cleveland Browns. Now, as you know, Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson, I've been hearing raving reviews about how Deshaun is back to his Houston ways. It's another full season in training camp with some rhythm underneath him now. The issue will be, can you control time of possession? If they got Joe Mixon and they got Nick Chubb, score is low, that makes it a coin flip. So there's a fighter's chance, there's more than a puncher's chance that they can get out of that one with a victory. Second on the menu, the Ravens. Now, they have made a multitude of additions this offseason to their credit. They've spruced up their receiving corps, most notably getting Odell Beckham at $18 million a season. They did spend a draft pick in the first round on Flowers. Andrews returns, who's a perennial Pro Bowler himself. They got a little bit better this year. They've given Lamar now, who's done so much with so little due to injuries or just a lack of talent. It's not like it's from a lack of effort. Not to mention they have returning guys who have definitely shown a glimpse of greatness from last year in that receiving corps. But that's another one. Could be a toss-up. There's a lot of new people, a lot of new bodies on the Ravens. It could easily become a toss-up, or it can be a blowout. Fast forward the narrative. Let's get to week 3. Because I'm giving you a 5-week window on the safe side. Because remember, the last person we know to have an injury like that playing in pro sports was Kevin Durant, and it ended up tearing up his Achilles. So you want to make sure that you really take all the time you need, not just because of this season, but for many seasons to come. This is a franchise prize guy who can really carry a team until he's 40 if he wants to. The Los Angeles Rams, St. Louis Rams, over there, they've had a bumpy offseason, okay? They lost Jalen Ramsey. Matthew Stafford has been amongst the brain trust in the Rams organization, potentially on the table for trade bait. It's just very difficult to find who's going to pick him up. But they've definitely contemplated already moving off of him, 2 years from a championship. So there's a lot of dystopia right now going on in that locker room. Let's fast forward the narrative to week 4. That could possibly, they could easily go 2-1. They could easily go 1-3. But the goal is just to hold on. Then you got the Titans, and yes, they've made some moves. They got D-Hop, who I think is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You obviously got one of the best running backs of all time, King Henry, Derrick Henry. But there's a lot of, who knows where his mind is at right now. He could get off to a slow start because the concentration has been on how do we get running backs paid. Tannehill has never been more than a game manager. There's a lot of musical chairs behind him if anything happens with Malik Willis and Will Levi. Will Levi right now is ranked 3rd on the depth chart. Malik Willis has been moving leaps and bounds on the quarterback depth chart. Just something to think about. I don't know why, but at some point, I think this season, They will be playing a game of musical chairs at quarterback. That could easily be another game where if you're relying on your run game and the score is low, that anything is possible. It's a toss-up. And then you got the Cardinals, who we already know there's been a power struggle with the front office and all the way down to the quarterback, the franchise guy Kyler Murray. So, the last thing I want to leave this, I don't want to get too long-winded in this video, but teams historically that get off to fast starts, unless you're like the Patriots when they had Randy Moss, or the old school Dolphins, most of the time teams who get off to fast starts anyway in the league, if you ever notice, don't really win Super Bowls. It's the teams who catch wind and find their second win, get into another gear as the season progresses. You see that steady growth and improvement rather than just shooting out like a cannon. Even the Eagles last year, even though they walked the part, they were the part up until the Super Bowl, you still came up empty-handed. So I think if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, this is just going to be a great opportunity to rally the troops, because remember, do I think that Trevor Siemian is going to have the same kind of success that Cooper Rush had with the Cowboys? Absolutely not. But this is the exact kind of formula right now in medicine this team needs, knowing that they've been coming up short year in and year out the last couple years, even though on paper they have one of the most lethal offenses, and this is a vertical game. All right, Utopians, all the best.